Right, he says in his croaky voice, welcome everybody to Saturday's version of Winning AO. Andrew, good day. Good day, good day in Sydney.
G'day, mate. That's it. Sydney broadcast of the Winning AO. Good to see you, mate.
So what's going on at the Winning AO? Before you say that, I want to give a big shout out to Cameron Norrie, who I think for the first time ever, certainly in a Grand Slam, has come back from 2 sets down to win narrowly in the 5th set. So you got to say, fantastic, Cameron Norrie. And to what extent that would have taken it out of him for the next round?
Well, it's he's done really well. It's a set all in his 3rd round now, so that's live. So he's playing Casper Ruud, who's a higher seed and knocked out one of our good Australians yesterday. So you're right about those long matches. It does take an effect on these players.
And that's before you enter the 2nd week, for goodness sake.
Well, it's really coming down. A lot of them are saying I've survived to the 2nd week. And you'll see some of these results are 3 sets, 6-3, 6-1. They're over fast so they can recover. And you've got, we're in the second half of the bottom draw. All right, so we're in round 3. We're in the bottom half. And Alcaraz, he just won with a walkover. So the other guy tied out. Retired. You've got some big 5-setters there. Cameron Norrie's right in the middle of it at the moment. So, there's a lot going on. It'll be good.
Okay.
The women, very similar.
2 things as you speak. In yours and my opening introduction, I mentioned the fact about injuries and people carrying injuries, but doing whatever they can to patch themselves up to get into the Grand Slam in order to get the check from the 1st or the 2nd round when they are injured. So the person playing Alcaraz is injured.
Yes, the Chinese, well, remember they can come in without an injury and then due to the matches can have an injury. And I saw his leg strapped. So when you come on court, if you've got strapping, it's sometimes to prevent something, but you could also be injured. In the case of Tommy Paul, that last set was 6-0 against him because during the match he overstretched and he was up 2-1, and the other guy got the 4th set in the tiebreaker, and then the last set 6-0.
Yeah,
because he was injured, but a bit of a trooper. He stayed out there on court for the people.
Yeah,
entertainer. Yeah, very nice.
It's a difficult thing. Secondly, somebody of note has backed Tsitsipas to winning the Grand Slam. What's your thought on that?
Yes, Tsitsipas was not looking good in the 1st week. He was looking as though he was making wrong choices, but he's into the 2nd week and it really comes down to the 2nd week. Alex de Minaur, Aussie, I'll be going for him in my loyalty hat. But, it still comes down to Djokovic might take on Alcaraz in the final. They're the 1 and 2 seeds and they're both looking very good in their parts of the draw.
Yeah. Any thoughts on the women's?
Yeah, Iga is still looking very good. She's had some hard matches. She's number 1 seed. The winner last year, it's looking like, it could be herself and last year's winner, Sabalenka. She won today 6-0, 6-0 in round 3.
Wow.
Now, that just means I just want to get on with business. I just want to get into the next one. So everyone.
How could you win by a double bagel in the 3rd round of a Grand Slam? Come on.
You don't stay out on court. You are doing business and you just went, all right, I'll just test my training. I'll test my strategies, and a 0-0 means the other person didn't have an answer to it.
Yeah. Okay.
And she'll rest up and she'll be ready for the next match.
Okay. Very good.
Yep.
And Dan's team got a walkover, yeah?
They did, and I'll see if I can give you an update on where they are. They might be playing, they'll probably have a rest day, and then they'll be playing tomorrow. So we'll be able to give you some more information there. But that was looking pretty good. Yeah, congratulations on Dan and the girls.
Yeah. No, we're rooting for him and them. So today we're talking about a key subject, which is about love and passion for the sport. And if you've lost it, how do you get it back? And if you've got it, how do you keep it and nurture it? For two reasons. One is that you'll play your best. I think when you've got a smile on your face and love in your heart, you're more likely to be in flow and play well. Yes. Compared to frustrated, angry, tight. No chance of getting into flow and playing your best. Secondly, you will have more longevity in the game, undoubtedly. So what's your take on love and passion? You still obviously have love and passion for your sport, but many people start and then get frustrated and then get addicted to the whole irritation, anger, mentally tough, etc. What's your take?
All right, my take is I love and I have a lot of passion for tennis. I coach it every day, and you're trying to show other people those nice things. And those nice things, at the end of the day, it comes down, it's a game. And if you can show people how to win and find their own game, I think that's the real special thing. That's what makes a master coach.
Are you aware of, sorry, carry on. Yep. Sorry.
Yeah, so that's the key thing. If it's annoying you, it might be that you're playing with the wrong people. That might be people are ruining the fun of the game. If someone was dogging the points, you get an umpire. But at the end of it, it's a game, and you just want to play it in a good spirit.
Yeah, easier said than done. So how do you train that? Are you aware of English football? Do you follow it at all? Okay, yes, so Bill Shankly from the past said, winning and football, it's not life or death, man. It's more important than that. So how can you, when you're playing a sport, but you've got ego and you want to win and pressure, and you know nothing about pressure, and it kicks in and you play crap just when you want to be playing your best and lose, all that feeds into anger and frustration and not love and passion. So how do you solve that?
Look, this comes down to mindset. It comes down to team, because you are evaluating yourself, but then imagine parents evaluating children. And this is a really nice lead into Stuart Wicker, who's a master coach, who will talk on the messages that we give our kids. So it can be spectators, it could be, it can be officials. Yep. So Stuart is going to really open some ideas about mixed messages. But from my own point of view, it's a game. Keep it a game. If you're feeling that it's causing frustrations, you need to step away and have a review of how you play the game.
What about ego?
Ego
that drives our lives.
Now, in doubles, you could have double ego, but with players on the court, I've seen people with calm personalities, and sometimes the ego takes over the game. It doesn't matter what game you play. So tennis, if your ego is taking over control, that might be your drive. But this is where a psychologist comes in quite nicely in your team, just to make sure it's not a terrible or negative situation, but it's turned into a positive energy source.
Yeah, because ego, there's good ego and bad ego, as you just said. Let's talk a little bit about gratitude, if we can. if we can.
Yeah.
So a
Yes.
few years ago, gratitude was just a fluffy word. I think gratitude has now moved into mainstream as a key skill of, and in this instance, of your ability to be out there on court, to have the privilege of competition,
Yes.
and have gratitude for that. What's your take on gratitude, and how do you train it as a skill?
All right. You used another word there, competition. I changed that word to challenge. So I challenge everyone to just keep. Now, gratitude is a lovely expression of awareness. And one of the quotes that Alvarez said was he tries to make these shots, these unplayable shots for the public. And there's this gratitude. He is trying to do things. And I see the opposition player sometimes look at him and go, good shot. Now, that's your opposition saying great shot. And that's a good game sense. I don't mind giving off a bit of feedback to your opposition, and you say, you beat me because you played an exceptional shot. Okay.
And last thing before we introduce Aditya, talk about process versus outcome, and how if you're outcome orientated and it doesn't go your way, it's bound to have a knock on with love and passion. But if you do what Federer does, and he's very strong about his love for the game, the feeling and the sound of the ball hitting the strings and all that.
Yeah.
What's your take on process and outcome?
All right, we can break these down into internal and external rewards. External rewards, I give you money, I give you praise. The players who play best have internal rewards. They are feeling, they're sensing that they've made the right shot. If they've made the wrong shot, you'll see them look at their strings and there'll be a 1 second, let's not do that again. So you learn from it and then you move on, ready for the next shot. So internal rewards are your best. And you mentioned the word before about flow. You'll access that natural ability on the court.
Okay. Good stuff, Andrew. As befitting an Elite Four master coach, is that correct?
I'm an Elite Master Coach 4. I do the education for all the coaches, and I love it. I have passion for that. And there's other level 4s and level 3 master coaches that we've got on our show who are traveling with the players. And yeah, you just have to you're part of the family. So you just have to be listening and sensing what's the right thing to do.
Is there a higher grade than your grade, your status?
Not that I'm aware. I think different countries have different things. I'm a coach educator as well. I've gone through 1, 2, 3, and most countries will have 1, 2, 3. Master coach means that you've written things or you've documented items and you're out there sharing it like we're doing at the moment.
Okay, fantastic. Well, as you know, I knew it before day one, so thank you for being our co-host on Winning AO. It's fantastic to have somebody of your knowledge and caliber with us.
A pleasure. Yeah.
So let's introduce Aditya. So for background information, he is a successful entrepreneur. Luckily, he was well trained in the fundamentals as a junior, but he gave up the sport for 7 years to build his various businesses. And now at the age of plus 40, has gone into competition at a state, national, and an ITF level. And he is ripping it up, having great results, and you can see with a big smile on his face. So he is talking about how love and passion is crucial to his game of tennis. And he speaks so much sense. He must have been around some great people. So he particularly loves match play. And within that, he particularly loves the thing that most people hate, which is the pressure-packed, tension-filled, winning or losing is kind of all on these points. And this is when his love, passion, and gratitude comes out even more. It's like, oh my God, how great is this, regardless of whether I win or lose?
I call that the challenge. That's the challenge right there.
Yeah. Cheers, man. Correct me. I'll take that on. It then goes on to say how tennis has trained him in life skills, of which love and passion for the challenge, in all his matters off court, in his relationships, particularly in his businesses, his staff and other people he works with. So the ability to get back into love and passion for the sport, which is the reason why we took it up, aids us with our success and longevity. And Aditya makes phenomenal points in his 20 minutes or so, and he's up next.
Looking forward to it. And if any of our listeners can find the passion and the fun of the game, they will stay in it, and it's very good for your health. Tennis makes you live longer when they compare all the sports.
Yeah. So also, just, you've mentioned it, but just one more time, what's Stuart talking about tomorrow?
He'll be talking about non-verbal communication and communication of parents with the kids. Now, that's focused on how do you train a winner, and it starts nice and early. And he's got some very nice, surprising comments for you. So that'll challenge you, and it might also assist you in having a better relationship if you've got a young tennis player.
Fabulous. Look forward to that a lot. And then just to tip people that come Monday, we're changing our timings. So we'll talk more about that tomorrow, but be prepared to tune in on a different time for the second week.
That's right, and that's because you'll be broadcasting from Florida, is that right?
Yeah, I'll be on a flight on Tuesday, and my great friend and partner, and the guy you know very well, Ramon Oza, that's a co-founder of all this, will be taking it on from Los Angeles, and I'll be joining him in America.
And here's another good reason for tennis. It's an international sport, and you're all over the place, around the world playing the game. So looking forward to it. Great.
So now, without further ado, he says, little drum roll, let's introduce Aditya, which is one of my most enjoyable conversations. He said such great stuff. So over to Aditya now.
Bye from Sydney.
Right, so today on Winning AO, it's actually a fabulous conversation. So it's not with a coach, with a player taking part in the Winning AO, but probably even more important for competitive amateur tennis players around the world. So we have Adit Khan from India, who, still a young boy. How old are you, Adit? No, don't answer that question. It's rude. Still a young boy, has got love and passion for the game instead of being hooked by anger, irritation, and frustration. So the aim of this chat is to find out how Adit is one of the few that has love and passion, and how it helps his training, and how it helps him win matches, and how it helps him keep in the game longer. And how we can copy Adit. Adit, morning to you, or afternoon to you in your place.
First of all, Mark, thank you for having me in this chat on Winning AO. I mean, it's really an honor for me to be talking to you and discussing about my tennis love for the sport, which has got me back to playing the ITF Master Circuit. I started competing in the ITF Senior Circuit about 5 or 7 years back, and I've just, the fact that I used to play junior tennis before I played for junior Indian team, but my work life and my academic life took me away from tennis for a number of years, where I spent my 7 or 8 years studying in England and working over there. So tennis was not a priority at that point of time, but when I came back to India, I sort of rediscovered the love for the sport. I was playing for fun, and I saw there's an opportunity for 35 plus players to play on international circuit. And as soon as I started playing, I've never looked back, and I'm playing about 8 to 10 tournaments in a year. Traveling internationally, playing events. I play for the Indian team as well in the 35 plus category, or the 40 plus category now, and it's been a wonderful journey for me. And I've actually rediscovered the love for the sport, or actually never fell out of love, but rediscovered the love of joy of playing again at this highest level as well.
You sound like a full-time touring pro now.
I'm definitely enjoying the life of a full-time tennis pro of traveling and meeting a lot of people and playing international tournaments. Yes, I feel blessed that I've actually be able to do this, to be honest.
Extraordinary. So when you see the quotes from people like Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic, and all the others, they do emphasize that their love for the game is what keeps them training and playing and winning matches. Why do you think that whilst you never fell out of love with the game, why do you think that you became so loving and passionate about the sport again, having dropped it?
Well, I think, once it was not that I fell out of love for the sport. It's just the physical demands of the sport is very high. And when I was at the peak of my academic life, or starting my work life, I just did not have enough time to actually commit to playing tennis, because of the demands of my education, and work was a lot more at that point of time. But slowly, I've in the last 5 or 7 or 8 years, I want to strike a good work-life balance, and tennis has been the best outlet for me to sort of strike a great balance in my life. And I realized that what tennis has taught me in my life, the life skills it has taught me, whether it's dealing with pressure, whether it's dealing with leadership, whether it's dealing with teamwork, no other sport has taught me that. Or no other aspect of life has taught me that. And I feel tennis has given me everything what I've got in my life. And yeah, for me, competing back in the ITF circuit has just been a new lease of life for me, and I've not looked back since then.
So when you think about it logically, if you got a smile in your heart, if your limbs are loose, and if you've got a clear brain and feeling love and passion, you're much more likely to slip into flow than if you are angry, tight, fighting. There's no chance of playing your best. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, I'd agree with that. And as coming back to what you said, that the love for the sport, in any sport, if the highest level of athlete, or even any athlete who's competing, has to have love for the sport to be able to actually perform their best. Because if you don't love what you're doing, in a sport, you are not going to be good at it. And I feel being happy, being positive on the court, having positive energy, and enjoying what you're doing is the biggest aspect, and especially in our circuit, of course, but 35 plus, where the prize money is not as much. Most of 95% of people are playing for the love of the game. People are playing because they enjoy playing tennis, they love playing the sport, they love competing, they love the community which is built into the sport. And only from India, we have, in the ITF senior circuit, we have about 3,000 people playing all over from the country, which is pretty huge number, who are competing internationally at probably it's higher than the pros and juniors competing. I think the seniors probably has the highest number of registration from India in the ITF circuit right now.
And I've got two or three specific questions for you as you've been speaking. One is, how do you get to love the training, first of all?
So you can only love the training because of the fact that you like competing and you love the sport. I mean, because you have to want to train, because your training is going to get impacted in your matches. Your match will be better. And when I say training as well, in training is a fun part of our work as well, because while we are training, we're playing a lot of sets, we're playing a little bit of singles, we're playing a little bit of doubles, we work works together, and we are. It's from us is one outlet which at least most of the senior players don't take it as a place of stress. They're taking it as a place of heaven and place of relief, and that is why training becomes much easier, because training is something which we all look forward to sort of train together as a group, as friends, and then start competing with travelers teams and compete with each other.
Very nice, because they do say, or we say, that tennis is a lonely sport, but you don't have to be alone.
Yeah,
which is a massive difference.
It is a tough sport when you're on the court playing singles on your own. It is a lonely sport. You're not allowed a coach. You're not allowed to talk to your peers. You're not allowed to talk to your your friends on the court or get some guidance. You have only yourself to talk to. But I feel over time I've become much more match fit, mentally fitter, because I feel it's the belief of what you have. It's the not so much worry about the outcome of the match. I think it's more the journey which you have to enjoy, which is what I enjoy in my match. I enjoy the match. I'm not thinking of the outcome of the match, because even when I'm in tight situations, that's what I talk to myself. I'm like, why am I here? I'm here to enjoy myself. I'm not here to worry about if I'm winning or losing this match. And but the moment I walk out of the court, nobody's going to care if I won or lost. So it's all in my head. So you're here to enjoy yourself and just go out there and have a blast, and don't worry about the outcome. And a lot of the times when I've thought of those situations, I've always I'm not saying I've won 100% of the times, but I've at least been able to play my best 100% of the times in those situations.
It's extraordinary. You are very well trained and educated, I have to say, because that's not a normal thought. What you said, process, not outcome, gratitude for being able to do that. And even when the wolves are howling in your brain and it's right at those big points with your opponent, to have the attitude you've got is extraordinary. How do you think you got that attitude? With coaches, yourself, your genes, positive outlook? How do you think you got that?
Well, I think it's been a lot of match practice as well. That helps. I'll tell you why. Because what you do in practice 100 or 100 times, if you know you can do that, you can do that in your match as well. One. Two is, I think, a personality which a person has off the court will always come on court as well, and your real personality will come on court. So if you're able to sort of deal with a lot of pressure situations in your life outside of your sport as well, and you're trained and you're a hard person, I think that sort of personality will come on court in your matches as well, whether it's aggression, whether it's your relaxed attitude, whether it is your handling of a pressure situation, whether it is your leadership, whether it is how you're handling a doubles partner in your teamwork. I think it is all an impact of how your personality is a lot outside of the court as well. So I think that has the biggest impact on your personality on court in handling pressure situations, and your practice on the court, because if you know you've made that shot 100 out of 100 times in practice, you can do it in the match as well. You just have to think. You don't have to think of the score or the opponent you're playing, or the grand of the match you're playing. I mean, literally, 4 months back, I remember I was at the International Tennis Federation annual general meeting through the All India Tennis Association through my father, and there was an AGM, sort of all the delegates were playing a tournament against each other, and I was in the finals playing against Mark Woodford.
Oh wow,
the legend of tennis in the world. He's got some more than 20 Grand Slams, the greatest doubles player ever. And I was playing a doubles match against him with my partner, and he was playing with his Hong Kong partner. So it was a super tiebreak match, and I'm not even playing against him was like a big honor. But when I went onto the court, I can't I can't look at him as Mark Woodford. I just have to look at him as I'm playing just a normal person, because the moment I start getting enamored like that I'm playing a Mark Woodford or anybody, I've anyways lost the match. So in my head, I went to think I'm there to play tennis. I'm there to win this super tiebreak, because it was the finals. We had already played like 10 super tiebreak matches in the whole day, and this was the final match against Mark and his partner. So I went into that match, assuming that I'm not playing anybody, I'm just playing the tennis ball. It's not a contact sport. I just have to play with the ball. And I stopped, thinking of who's on the opposite side, and we won the Super Tiebreak 11-9. But that's what I'm saying. If I had already thought that I'm playing with Mark Woodford and I don't even have 1 billionth the results of what he has in his life, I would have lost. But I ended up winning that AGM doubles finals against Mark and his partner, and is probably the biggest win of my life. But to me, at that point in time, it seemed really normal, and it just seemed another person I was playing against. So that's what the learning I've taken is that you can't. So yeah, that's what I have, a short story of mine to tell.
Fantastic. Look, I've interviewed many people at it, and you are amongst the wisest, because nobody says sort of the things that you say. So Billie Jean King, the icon, who we are very grateful to be involved with as an alliance with her sweet spot training, which is why I noticed you hitting the forehands like that. She used to go around the world with a ball colored on one side and not colored on the other. So she said she never knew who she was playing against because she was only concerned with the ball and one side of the ball that was nearest to her. So you're the only person I've heard to say the same thing.
So I mean, I learned that because for me, even if I'm playing the best player or if I'm playing the worst player, I'm still going to play what I have to do. Whether I'm playing a person who's a beginner as well, I'll still play the same way because I'm playing the tennis ball. I'm not playing my opponent. One, two, I don't want to disrespect my opponent by going easy on someone who's not as weak as me or who's not as strong as me. Or if I'm playing somebody very strong, I don't want to get intimidated by somebody who is too strong. What am I supposed to do? Do I have to do something different? So I have to shut these demons off my head and just go play tennis and just enjoy myself and be happy out there.
Well, look, we'll call you the Indian tennis guru because all gurus come from India. So you can be the tennis guru. Very wise. Last thing, let's talk about fitness, because the older you get, the more you pick up injuries and play with niggling injuries, which reduces your enjoyment. Do you play tennis to get fit, or do you get fit to play tennis? And is fitness a weapon for you?
So I think it's both ways. I play tennis to get fit as well, and I'm getting fitter by playing tennis. I think it's a two-way thing. I'm playing because I want to get fit, but because I'm playing, I'm only getting fitter, which I feel. For me, touch wood, I've kept a good diet. I think that's what is most important, because to be light on your feet helps you reduce your injuries as well. To get stretching always done, to always remain loose, always go to the gym as well, because your muscle strengthening has to be done, because if you're playing a lot, your muscles also keep getting wear and tear, so you have to keep going to the gym to sort of keep strengthening your muscles. But I feel as age catches up, you definitely need to do more of it. But I, at this point of time, at 42, I feel as fit as what I was when I was probably 31. I feel probably fitter than what I was at 31 or 32. So I feel at this point, I just feel it's in my head that age is a number, that I can continue to be as fit as what I was when I was 31, 32. Probably I should work much harder when I was 31, 32 as the amount of hard work I'm doing now, because in the last 5-6 years, I've worked a lot on my fitness, and that has helped me. So I don't think it's the age as much which has made a difference. I think it's the effort of mine. I'm sure if I made that much effort at the age of 32, I would have been probably fitter at 32 than what I'm at 42. But I feel it's a lot of effort which has to be put in terms of your diet and your physical fitness and your training, which is important, which is key to keeping you injury free as well, and also to help you win your matches or perform at your best. Because if your body is feeling good, you'll automatically play better tennis.
Fantastic. Look, when you speak, the lightness and joy and energy just comes out of you naturally when you speak. It's like a loving relationship that you've had all your life.
I've been blessed that I've been attached with the sport. My grandfather was the non-playing captain of India of the Davis Cup team, and India reached the finals. My father has been a tennis administrator for years. He was the president of the Asian Tennis Federation as well. So I grew up in a tennis family. I started playing at a young age. I've been visiting Wimbledon when I was a kid. When I was 8 or 9 years old, I used to go there. I've been to the Australian Open. I've been to the French Open. You know, I've been blessed. I'm really fortunate that I've been attached with this sport, which is one of the best sports in the world. And I'm truly grateful that I'm still able to play and compete at the highest level. And I wish I can continue doing it for as long as.
And what's next then? What's next? What's the next ambition? Have you set it out?
In terms of my tennis rankings or achievements in my career, I'm not keeping any ambitions in my mind. I just want to enjoy this, as what I said to you before. I want to enjoy the journey. I've not kept any targets or milestones. For me, as long as I'm enjoying playing, I go on the court, whether it's a club tournament I'm playing or an ITF tournament I'm playing for the World Championship. I take it as seriously and just go play tennis out there. So I've not kept a tennis goal in my life, but just want to keep enjoying myself.
Adit, this has been a very inspiring chat for me today, and possibly with you and your dad, if you could just train love, passion, joy for all those people taking up the sport, that would be a gift.
Thank you, absolutely, and thank you for having me over for this wonderful chat. I wish my message goes out to a lot of people that love for the sport and for fitness is the most important aspect to be successful in anything in life. And I think tennis is just one medium for me which I can show through.
Beautiful. Our new winning tennis guru from India, Adit, thank you very much for spending time with us today. Cheers, man.
Thank you. Thank you.